do?
How can it talk?
It's not a real voice. This box just interprets signals from the computer and turns them into sound.
Shall we play a game?
Oh.
WarGames, 20 Secrets They Tried to Hide. It looked like just another teen tech comedy. Computers, prank calls, and a high school genius hacking the Pentagon. But WarGames was far more tense and controversial than it seemed. Directors pushed for realism, studios feared political backlash, and the cast had to make digital warfare believable. What should have been a fun, cautionary tale became a high-stakes drama behind the scenes. Hacks, near disasters, and creative clashes almost derailed the film. Prepare to uncover 20 shocking secrets about WarGames. Shocking Secret 1. The real military was terrified. When WarGames was first pitched, the Pentagon was genuinely alarmed. The idea of a teenager hacking into military systems, particularly a nuclear command computer, was far from fiction in their eyes. The production team had to consult with military advisors to ensure authenticity, but even that didn't calm the tension. NORAD officials were reportedly worried that audiences might see a blueprint for real-world cyber threats. The filmmakers leaned into this fear, designing scenes where David Lightman's actions seemed plausible enough to spark real concern. Cameras captured blinking lights, alarms, and screens that looked like they controlled actual nuclear arsenals. The heightened realism made the Cold War's nuclear paranoia palpable, turning a teen hacker comedy into a cautionary tale about security, oversight, and the dangers of technology falling into the wrong hands. Audiences didn't just watch. Many believed David could really trigger a nuclear crisis. The Pentagon's fear inspired scenes that made the Cold War feel dangerously close to home. Shocking Secret 2. The supercomputer was almost a real AI Joshua. The AI supercomputer at the heart of WarGames wasn't a simple prop. It was a near vision of 1980s artificial intelligence. Engineers and technical advisors helped the filmmakers design Joshua's blinking lights, scrolling text, and speech patterns to mimic real computational thinking. Though it wasn't a functioning AI, its learning behavior and ability to adapt during games made it feel terrifyingly real. Scenes showing Joshua strategizing against itself and learning human behavior blurred the line between science fiction and reality, giving the audience the impression that the computer was intelligent and autonomous. Its realism was so convincing that some viewers genuinely questioned whether NORAD might already have machines like it. By anticipating how computers might think in the future, the filmmakers created a threat that was believable, engaging, and quietly prophetic, almost predicting modern AI debates decades before the technology existed. Joshua's realistic AI design made the computer feel dangerously intelligent decades before real-world AI. Shocking Secret 3. Matthew Broderick's tech training was intense. Matthew Broderick didn't just act the part of a teenage hacker, he became one. Weeks before shooting, he immersed himself in programming fundamentals and early computer operations, learning to type realistic sequences and use authentic terminology. Broderick also shadowed real engineers and computer experts to replicate how a prodigy might navigate complex systems. His attention to detail extended to facial expressions, body language, and reactions to technical problems, making David Lightman a fully believable hacker rather than a caricature. Crew members often commented that Broderick's curiosity mirrored David's on-screen intelligence, adding spontaneity and authenticity. The training paid off. Audiences watched him type commands, monitor screens, and troubleshoot with the air of someone who truly understood the digital world. This preparation made the hacking sequences iconic, convincing viewers that a teen could indeed infiltrate military networks, heightening the film's tension and plausibility. Broderick's hands-on tech training made David's hacking scenes eerily authentic and believable. Shocking Secret 4. NORAD scenes caused studio panic. Recreating NORAD's command center was no small feat. The production team designed a sprawling, intricate set filled with blinking consoles, wired communication panels, and authentic-looking control stations. Studio executives worried the realism went too far, fearing the set resembled an actual nuclear facility. Actors were trained to move and speak like military personnel, adding another layer of authenticity. Even minor details, like the placement of switches, the blinking of indicator lights and the timing of alarms were painstakingly calibrated to mirror real NORAD operations. The result was a tension-soaked environment that convinced viewers they were witnessing the true nerve center of U.S. nuclear power. The realism enhanced the suspense and made David Lightman's intrusion feel far more consequential, emphasizing how fragile the balance between humans and machines could be in a high-stakes environment. The NORAD set was so convincing, it nearly triggered real-world concern from studio and military advisors alike. Shocking Secret 5. The ending almost got censored. The climax of WarGames, where David nearly triggers a nuclear disaster, was initially more graphic. Original cuts depicted explosions and destruction in far greater detail, but studio executives worried the intense imagery was too much for a teen audience. Test screenings confirmed their fears, prompting edits that toned down visual devastation while preserving the sense of imminent catastrophe. The tension remained razor-sharp, and the film still carried a haunting warning about human error and technology. This careful balancing act preserved suspense while keeping the movie commercially viable. The changes didn't diminish the narrative's impact, they heightened it. The result was one of the most memorable and influential cautionary tales in 1980s cinema. A story about responsibility, power, and the fragile line between games and reality. Audiences left tense, entertained, and slightly unnerved. The ending was softened, but the looming nuclear threat kept audiences on the edge of their seats. Shocking Secret 6. The film predicted cyber war games wasn't just fiction. It eerily predicted the rise of cyber war. Long before the internet became mainstream, the film depicted a teenager exploiting vulnerabilities in national defense systems. The scenarios eerily mirrored later real-world cyber attacks, from hacking military databases to infiltrating critical infrastructure. Lawrence Lasker and Walter Parks, the writers, consulted with technology experts to make the story plausible, inadvertently foreshadowing the world's growing dependence on computers. Joshua's AI, monitoring and responding autonomously, hinted at what modern cybersecurity specialists now fear: machines making decisions without human oversight. The film became a cautionary tale for policymakers, highlighting the dangers of digital vulnerability and the need for robust security protocols. Its foresight was uncanny, and even today, tech enthusiasts point to WarGames as one of the first cinematic warnings about our connected world. WarGames predicted the dangers of cyber war decades before hackers became headline news. Shocking Secret 7. Ally Sheedy's character was almost different. Jennifer Mack, David Lightman's love interest, was originally written as a more rebellious, confrontational character. Early drafts had her actively hacking alongside David, giving her a sharper, edgier presence. Studio executives worried this would overshadow Broderick's character and disrupt the teen comedy balance, so they softened her role, turning her into a supportive but reactive figure. Despite this, Ally Sheedy infused Jennifer with intelligence and curiosity, giving the character subtle depth. Her reactions to David's antics, combined with the film's tension, created one of the more believable teen dynamics of the 1980s. Test audiences responded positively, and the final version kept the story grounded, without losing charm or credibility. The small changes preserved focus on David, while still giving Jennifer moments of insight, proving that editing character dynamics can shape a film's tension as much as its plot. Jennifer's character changes kept the spotlight on David, while still making her smart and memorable. Shocking Secret 8. Real military equipment was used. The production went above and beyond to create authenticity by borrowing real military props and equipment. Authentic computers, communication devices, and even military uniforms were brought in to replicate the NORAD environment. Technical advisors trained the actors to operate the machines convincingly, ensuring everything from console switches to voice commands matched reality. The attention to detail made David's hacking attempts and the responses of the NORAD staff feel real, elevating suspense. Even the blinking lights and alarm tones were meticulously calibrated. The realism was so intense that some extras reportedly felt uneasy, as if they were stepping into an actual high-security facility. This commitment to authenticity blurred the line between set and reality, making the film's stakes feel genuinely terrifying and convincing. Using real military equipment made the NORAD scenes feel dangerously authentic and immersive. Shocking Secret 9. The film almost used a different ending. Early drafts of WarGames featured a darker conclusion, where the computer system's autonomous decision-making escalated further before David intervened. Studio executives feared the ending was too bleak for for a mainstream audience and pushed for a lighter resolution, emphasizing David's cleverness over disaster. John Badham and the writers compromised, retaining the tension of the nuclear threat, but ending with hope and relief. The adjustment preserved suspense without alienating viewers, allowing the film to maintain its teen-friendly rating. This careful balance between drama and accessibility ensured the movie could educate and entertain, serving as both thrilling entertainment and a cautionary tale about technological hubris. The ending was reshaped to keep suspense, but still deliver a hopeful, teen-appropriate resolution. Shocking Secret 10. The title almost changed before WarGames was finalized. The film had several working titles, including The Teen Hacker and Global Thermonuclear War. Studios wanted a catchier, more marketable name, fearing the original titles sounded too technical or niche. John Badham fought to keep the title relevant to both teens and thriller audiences, eventually landing on WarGames. The new title cleverly referenced both the game-playing aspect of hacking and the real threat of nuclear conflict, encapsulating the film's tension and teen appeal. It became iconic, instantly recognizable, and perfectly captured the movie's mix of youthful mischief and high-stakes drama. Changing the title to WarGames transformed it into a taut, unforgettable Cold War thriller. Shocking Secret 11. The nuclear codes were inspired by reality. The scriptwriters went to great lengths to make Joshua's nuclear simulations believable. They consulted declassified information and security experts to understand how the U.S. military stored and accessed nuclear launch codes. While the film never revealed actual codes, the depiction of David accidentally triggering a near launch felt chillingly plausible. Joshua's ability to simulate scenarios mirrored real computer capabilities of the early 1980s, giving audiences a sense of verifiable danger. The realism created tension not just on screen but behind the scenes, as military advisors debated how far the filmmakers should push authenticity without revealing sensitive details. By grounding the story in plausible mechanics, WarGames blurred the line between teen fun and global catastrophe. Realistic nuclear code simulations made the tension feel genuine, showing just how fragile security could be. Shocking Secret 12. Hackers loved the film. When WarGames premiered, early hackers praised its accuracy. Unlike many Hollywood depictions of hacking, the film showed logical steps, problem-solving, and real-looking command sequences. Broderick's portrayal of David Lightman typing and navigating systems struck a chord with the tech community, earning the movie credibility. Some even tried to emulate David's techniques, though thankfully not on military systems. The film became an early cultural touchstone for computer enthusiasts, inspiring curiosity about programming, networks, and ethical hacking. It planted the seeds of the hacker subculture in mainstream cinema. The attention to authentic computer behavior created an enduring legacy among techies, who continue to cite WarGames as one of the most influential tech movies ever made. Hackers embraced the film for its accuracy, cementing its reputation as a cult tech classic. Shocking Secret 13. The film warned about automation. Joshua wasn't just a computer, it was a warning. The AI's autonomous decision-making illustrated how machines could escalate crises without human oversight. Scenes of Joshua evaluating winning strategies and nearly initiating nuclear war highlighted fears of automation controlling critical systems. Screenwriter Lawrence Lasker later said, "The intent was to explore how reliance on machines could endanger humanity." By turning technology into a potential villain, WarGames predicted modern debates over AI, cybersecurity, and autonomous weapons decades before they became pressing concerns. Audiences felt the suspense because the threat seemed logical, not exaggerated. The film's tension came not from monsters or explosions, but from the terrifying possibility that a machine could make irreversible decisions on its own. Joshua's autonomy served as a prescient warning about the dangers of unchecked machine intelligence. Shocking Secret 14. The White House was nervous. Before release, the White House reportedly reviewed the film's concept, concerned it could alarm the public about nuclear vulnerability. Officials debated whether a teen accidentally triggering a nuclear crisis might cause panic or invite real-world copycats. The filmmakers were careful not to disclose classified material, but the tension surrounding realistic computer simulations and military procedures amplified the perceived risk. Studio lawyers and consultants worked to ensure scenes were thrilling without compromising security. This behind-the-scenes scrutiny added pressure to the production, heightening the sense that WarGames wasn't just a movie, it was a cultural event, tapping into genuine fears of the Cold War era. Government blunt nerves proved the film hit dangerously close to reality, elevating its cultural impact. Shocking Secret 15. The film influenced cybersecurity policy. In an unexpected twist, WarGames inspired real-world policy changes. The movie demonstrated how easily critical systems could be accessed by outsiders, even teenagers. Congress and federal agencies took note, leading to the creation of the first computer security laws, including early versions of anti-hacking legislation. IT and defense sectors began implementing safeguards against unauthorized access, informed in part by the film's scenarios. What was intended as entertainment suddenly shaped public awareness and policy, proving cinema could have tangible effects on national security. The filmmakers never anticipated this impact, but it underscored how fiction sometimes predicts and influences reality in profound ways. WarGames wasn't just entertainment, it helped shape early cybersecurity awareness and policy. Shocking Secret 16. The game names were hidden references. The games Joshua plays aren't random. Titles like Global Thermonuclear War and Chess were carefully chosen to reflect real military strategy and Cold War fears. Screenwriter Lawrence Lasker used these games as allegories for human conflict, illustrating how simulations could escalate into reality. Even the tic-tac-toe-like screens of early computer interfaces were designed to subtly mirror tactical thinking. By embedding strategy and tension into the games themselves, the filmmakers turned simple screen graphics into narrative devices, showing how Joshua's logic could turn playful competition into existential threat. Audiences may have thought the games were just for show, but each title had layered meaning about decision-making, consequences, and the thin line between theory and action. The games weren't just entertainment. They were symbolic warnings about strategy and nuclear escalation. Shocking Secret 17. Real computer experts advised the film. The production recruited real computer engineers to ensure authenticity. These consultants trained actors, reviewed dialogue, and checked on-screen displays for accuracy. They even suggested how to portray hacking sequences convincingly, making commands, typing speed, and error messages believable. This attention to technical detail made David Lightman's actions credible, giving audiences a sense that the events could actually occur. Without this guidance, the hacking scenes might have looked comical or implausible, reducing tension. Instead, the filmmakers created a world where a teen's curiosity could plausibly threaten global security. Experts later noted that the film's accuracy was remarkable for its time, laying the groundwork for a new genre of techno-thrillers that respected real computing rather than just using it as a gimmick. Technical consultants ensured the hacking scenes were realistic, boosting the film's credibility and tension. Shocking Secret 18. Some scenes were improvised. Many iconic moments were not scripted. Matthew Broderick improvised reactions to Joshua's unexpected responses, creating authentic awe and fear. Director John Badham encouraged spontaneity, particularly during tense moments of near disaster, allowing Broderick's natural curiosity to shine. Minor gestures, hesitations, and screen-checking behaviors weren't planned, but added immense realism. These improvisations enhanced the suspense, making David's intelligence and vulnerability feel genuine. Even the alarmed staff at NORAD were coached to react naturally rather than follow strict choreography. These small, unscripted touches transformed the film from a teen comedy with tech gimmicks into a tense thriller with believable human emotion at its core. Improvised moments made David's reactions genuine, heightening suspense and realism throughout the film. Shocking Secret 19. The Cold War context. Heightened fear, WarGames tapped into real-world anxiety about nuclear war. Released during a period of heightened US-Soviet tensions, the film mirrored public fear that technology could fail or be exploited. The timing made the story feel urgent. Audiences weren't just watching fiction, they were reminded of authentic global stakes. The filmmakers leaned into this tension, using realistic computer operations, military jargon, and escalating alarms to heighten fear. Critics praised the film for balancing teen adventure with real-world suspense, making the Cold War both entertaining and unsettling. Its resonance with contemporary anxieties helped the movie leave a lasting impression, ensuring it would be remembered not just as a sci-fi thriller, but as a cultural time capsule of 1980s paranoia and technological promise. Cold War fears made the movie's stakes feel real, blending teen adventure with global anxiety. Shocking Secret 20. The legacy lives on. WarGames didn't just influence film, it shaped how society thought about computers and security. The movie inspired hackers, policymakers, and filmmakers for decades, becoming a cultural reference point for cybersecurity, AI, and ethical hacking. Its warnings about technology outpacing human control remain relevant today. The film also influenced teen-focused techno-thrillers and set a benchmark for realistic computer representation in Hollywood. Even modern cybersecurity awareness owes a nod to David Lightman's accidental exploits, with memorable performances, clever scripting, and an uncanny foresight about the dangers of automation. WarGames continues to resonate as both entertainment and cautionary tale. Its impact extends far beyond the screen, proving that movies can warn, inspire, and shape thinking for generations. WarGames continues to inspire, warn, and shape how we see technology decades later. WarGames wasn't just a teen hacker movie. It was a tension-filled ride, a clash of technology, creativity, and politics that left its mark on everyone involved. Beneath the computers and alarms was a story about human error, paranoia, and what happens when curiosity collides with power. Maybe that's why it endures, because it reminds us that a single click can spark consequences far beyond your control. If this uncovered a truth about WarGames you never knew, drop your favorite secret in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more revelations from the films that rewrote the rules of cinema. Remember, games are won and lost in unexpected ways.